Hello 8th graders, I want to take a moment to explain to you some of the grading that went into your density quiz. I'm not going to go over every single question, I just want to point out a few places where you might have some questions. So here we go. You should have your density quiz in front of you following along. If you have any questions for me after I get back, please make sure that you write them down somewhere so that you can remember. I'm actually going to start on number 3. There were a lot of questions with number 3 as I was walking around while the test was going on, and it turns out that I'm accepting two different kinds of answers. In this question, Gabby is trying to find the density of an eraser, and that eraser, it's giving you a volume right here. And Gabby accidentally grabbed the wrong eraser. She grabbed one that was much bigger. And the question is how will, I should say, her density calculation be affected? So the question was designed to go for this kind of an answer, just right. And the reason is because it's still the same eraser, same material. So if the material is the same, the density should be the same. However, after reading through some of your answers, I have found that I would also accept this answer only if your justification matched the following. So you could say that her measurement would be too high if she took the mass of the big one but assumed the volume that I gave her at the beginning, 5 centimeters cubed. So if you did this, your mass would be for the 10 centimeter one if she accidentally grabbed the wrong eraser, but she would have for her volume on the lower part of the equation, the divided by volume, mass divided by volume, she would have a smaller number than what it really should be. So what that would end up happening, what that would do would be to make it too high. So I will accept one of either of those two. This was worth 2 points, one for putting the right answer and one for a good justification. The next one that I want to talk about is the one right above it, actually. Number 2 says, what is the most accurate way to find the volume of a regular geometric solid like a pyramid? And so the correct answer for this, what it was going for at least, was the displacement method. And that's because, the reasoning, and that's because if you have a geometric solid that has scratches or imperfections in it, water is going to fill those in. There were a lot of people who put down an answer that sounded like, well, math is more accurate, or there are too many ways to make a mistake reading the meniscus. Well, if you had to do, for example, a cube, and you needed to do length times width times height, so the length times the width times the height, I'm just trying to draw in the 3 dimensions of that. Well, you have to make 3 measurements on that. If you're going to be doing the graduated cylinder method, you only have to make 1 measurement. So I would challenge you on that if your justification was, well, you have to make only 3 measurements and then do math, and math is perfect. Well, with the displacement method, water fills in all the gaps, and you only have to make 1 measurement. However, because I feel as though this question was unfairly worded and some various other reasons that I'll share with you later if you care to hear them, this question was cut from the test. So these questions were not held against you and you did not receive points for this. The last place that I'd like you to go is on the back side of this paper for the in-class measurements that you did. The way that this was graded, it was worth 5 points, and I want you to know where those came from. The first was, did you have a place for mass and volume? That was worth 1 point. Each of these will be worth 1 point. The next point came from, did you do more than one trial? Can't be very accurate if you're only doing 1 trial. The next one was, did you calculate some averages? The next spot was, did you have a close enough number? Was your actual measurement for density close? And then finally, did you have units, appropriate units? So just to give you a quick idea of what this should have looked like, you should have had your trials, 1, 2, 3, and then at the bottom an average. and then you would have had to do mass and volume, and some people even added a column for density, which wasn't part of the grade, but some people did that, and that's fine. And then for the units, you should have had grams per centimeters cubed or grams per milliliter. So again, if you have questions about anything that you've seen on this video, please make sure that you write them down so that you can ask me later.